On day 2 of the Creative Industries Business Summit 2025, it's the second summit ever, and so far we have managed to bring in the great Kanayo O Kanayo, and truly it is a feat that we cannot at all diminish, rather, if I should say. And this year's theme is Unlocking Africa's Potential, and it's Awakening the Economic Giant. And why not collaborate? Why not come together, learn from others, and why not learn from the very best? Thank you so much for joining me today, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely welcome. And well, just to start a little bit from the beginning, I'll tell you, your career has been filled with very memorable sacrifices, on screen especially. What's one thing that you're hoping to gain from the Creative Industries Business Summit so far?
Well, it's, once again, thank you for having me. It's always an honor and a privilege to share experience. I think that's the most essential thing because it's a give and take. There's something Zambia is doing, which we may not be doing. And then we share what we have. They give us what it is they've been doing, and we contribute to it and marry the knowledge together and foster ahead. The interest is that we want a continent where the young people have something they can fall back to. We are not judgmental about people getting into crime or being in one misconduct or the other when we have not provided opportunities they can latch onto. Africa is blessed with a whole lot of young people, and if we do not take care of them in terms of what they need to do, it will be an implosion, and we don't want that. From Nigeria to South Africa to Gambia to Zambia to Senegal to Sierra Leone, we have a whole lot to give out.
That is definitely quite true. And well, my other question, actually, which should have been the first question, aside from, collaborating and coming together and sharing experiences, what would you say so far from your last 2 days, because this is now day 2 of, I would say, the summit, what have you seen or noticed from Zambians, be it from the ones who've spoken to you, who've questioned you, followed you, what have you seen from them that you really, really like?
Zambians love me, and that I know very well, even from my social media outreaches. So before I came here, I was prepared to mentor a lot of people. And they come to me not just to take pictures, but to learn. And they are the listening type of people who want to learn how we're able to do that in some 30-something years in Nollywood. And then, so that they don't make the mistakes we make, they will be able to champion the causes in their different areas and make sure that the creative enterprise, which I have been telling people is a new oil. And I want every Zambian to know this. The creative sector is a new oil. It's no longer the banks, it's no longer the oil industry. It is one business you can do from the comfort of your restroom. Let me not say bedroom, restroom. All you need to do is you have a phone, you have some data, create a content. If you think you're funny, put it on your phone, post it. Some people will like it, some will not. So you have every African, whether old or young, you have the potentials to make money. The creative platforms are there. I mean, I usually ask young people, what do you use your data for? Is it to just watch women who are half naked or watch something that doesn't create value for you? But it's good you use your data for something more useful that will create value for you. And if you get monetized by YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you make money. And that's what I want for every young person. We can reduce the level of insecurity, level of disharmony, level of irresponsibility amongst certain people if our young people engage themselves in the creative enterprise. It's not just about being an actor. Actors are the popular faces you see. But for goodness sake, there are the behind the scenes of people who work in the creative sector. You have, if you're like you now, you can be a makeup lady, makeup for weddings, makeup for movies. You can be in the costume designing section, the dresses we wear. Somebody make this. So there are a lot of angles. It could be the gaffer, it can be the audio guy, and so on. So there's a whole lot of places in the creative sector that people can make money. But especially, you don't need to be a graduate. I encourage education and the capacity it gives us. But the fact of the matter is that you learn and you're trained and you become somebody. Your parents will be proud of you. Time's gone. There were two critical areas in the Nigerian, I talk from the Nigerian perspective when I talk. In the 70s and early 80s, if you play football or you act in the movies, they see you as never do well, that you'll never be successful. Now, if you remember the Kanayo O Kanayo, the JJ Okochas, and so on, started playing football and making money. So everybody wants his son or daughter to play football. So it came to the creative sector that people who acted in those days were seen as all these people who act, all these people who do this. But now, people bring their children to say, please, my daughter wants to act. Could you please cast her in a role? So it means we're doing something. It's bringing money, it's creating goodwill, it's generating employment. And that's what I want Africa to do. I want Africa to realize that we are primary on the space of the continent we are from, and that we are good people. It's not about what the West wrote in the books. We are hardworking people. We are resilient people. We are people who, when you give us an opportunity, we see the expectations. Why do you think that Africans prosper when they go to America, when they go to Europe, and so on? Because we have the never die spirit in us. And that's what why I'm advocating that every African country, every government in Africa should embrace the creative sector, at least for its youths.
And that is actually something that you've been very vocal about since you've arrived. Mm-hmm. And you've actually even married the fact that already you are, I'll say you've got a foot, a leg, an entire being within the legal sector. And so seeing how you merge entertainment or the creative space and also, I'd say, the law, when it comes to now, when being on set, this is something that you touched on earlier on, where if you're on set, people make sure they follow the law.
So I would always protect the interest of the actor, even the least person who is not in the, because you have the cast and crew. If you're not the cast, which is people who are playing roles, or the crew who are handling the technicals, I make sure that the producer conforms to the standards that will promote the interest of whoever has been employed to take part in a project. Because there's this tendency in Africa that people don't like obeying the laws. I mean, we should be able to, my own set where I hold supreme, I make sure there's a lunch time and everybody eats at the same time. There's 30 minutes break for everybody, so if you eat in 10 minutes, you can rest in 20 minutes. And ensure that you don't work without time limit. You come to work at 9 a.m., you shoot till 5 a.m. No, we're talking about retention. There's a level to which you shoot and you start forgetting your lines. So we must make sure that people work within a time limit that it should be fresh and have something to give.
So now for that creative right now who's going to a set very soon and they don't know what their rights are, how do they step in? Because already you've got experience, you've got the weight that you carry, but for somebody who doesn't have that, how can they ensure that their rights are protected?
That's exactly what my last panel session was like. We need to sensitize practitioners. Most of them work without contracts in the creative sector, without legal representation, without belonging to guilds, associations. It is a necessity of what we have put ourselves to. When you have an infringement on your rights, who do you meet? A lawyer. So your very first lawyer in your industry is the guild or association. Then on a larger scale, you must be bound by a contract. And the contract is that which you are given by the producers of the content. And it's supposed to be a to and fro thing. They make their propositions, they send it to you, and then if you're not a lawyer, you can either employ the services of a lawyer or talk to one. A lawyer could be a relation. A lawyer could be somebody professionally. You go to his office. And then he takes your brief, reads your contract on your behalf, and tells you you're good to go. Or to say to you, okay, this is the way you want it. For instance, let me cite an instance. In Africa, most people begin to be dishonest in payment. You sign an agreement and they tell you you collect your fees 2 days to the end of shoot. You may be lucky and they pay you, but people like us, because we talk from experience, I have been part of movie sections in the past, 25 years ago or 30 years ago, where I never received my money. Producer ran away. The executive producer ran away. And 6 months later, her money was, that's how the money went. So we're not using that experience to say, if you're not comfortable with agreement that you're going to collect your money from the producers at the end of the production or some days before the end of production, you can actually say, the first day I report on set, give me 50% or any percentage you may agree.